The MMG, I think I need to explain what the MMG is about, because people have come to this occasion today. Many people don't really know much about MMG. All they probably know is that we have a Marcus Garvey function every year. But the fact is, the Mosiah Garvey Foundation, MMGF, we were established to perpetuate and publicize the philosophy and opinions of the Right Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Marcus Garvey was, of course, the first national hero of Jamaica and one of the fathers of Pan-Africanism. The foundation on which Garvey's philosophy was based is his belief that Africans must be self-reliant. We must control how we govern ourselves. We must control how we feed ourselves, how we educate ourselves. We must control all aspects of our existence as a nation and as a race of people. To achieve the above objective, he taught us that we must have a solid industrial base. He believed that industrialization is the means that will enable us to provide employment for our people, allow us to fully utilize the natural resources that we are blessed with, and encourage our people to constantly search for more innovative and efficient way of organizing our communities and countries. In one of Garvey's publications, he advised us, this was more than 100 years ago, he advised us that it would be the people who have mastered science and technology that will control the future of the world. So he encouraged us, all the way back then, he encouraged us that African people must major or put great emphasis on the study of applied science and technology, not science that you just do in a classroom and then you walk outside and you forget it. Applied science and technology in the development of our communities. Now, Marcus himself was a printer. He was greatly influenced by Booker T. Washington, of the Tuskegee project in America. Now, the Tuskegee project taught young blacks skills in trades such as carpentry, masonry, mechanic, farming, etc. Mr. Garvey wanted to introduce this Tuskegee type training in Jamaica. That's why he went to, this was the main reason why he went to America in the first place in 1916 or so. But unfortunately, by then, he had, Booker T had passed away. But he wanted to go and meet with Booker T to get some advice as to how to set up this training program in Jamaica. So the Tuskegee project was introduced by Mr. Washington, has now evolved into the Tuskegee University, which is a place of higher learning. So you could say that MMG Foundation wished to create a Tuskegee type model where here in Ghana and in Africa generally. The main aim of the MMG Foundation is to build a state-of-the-art technical center here in Ghana to encourage high-level scientific research and development in areas such as medicine, renewable energies like solar, information technology, ICT, recycling, and modern transport systems. We will be developing our organization, while we are developing our organization structures and mobilizing the resources for the construction of the Marcus Garvey Memorial Center, the MMG Foundation will be running a number of vocational courses in areas such as ICT, solar energy, electronics, surveillance systems, motor vehicle mechanic, and indigenous crafts. All students who participate in MMG's Foundation's training courses will be introduced to the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey and the study of African history. We hope that this will install in Africa the Africa First mentality that we want to see. The MMG Foundation is relatively new in Ghana when it comes to training courses, so we will not be, trying to reinvent the wheel. We will be trying to form strong partnerships with existing organizations that has similar aims and objectives as the MMGF. MMGF feels strongly that there is a need to provide more opportunities for young people in Ghana and Africa. It is estimated that in 50 years' time, Africans will form the largest and youngest population in the world. So we must provide an enabling environment for them to do business and to find employment. So we need to stop the brain drain, as my brother was saying, and that the horrifying sight of African people drowning in the sea while we are attempting to enter Europe in search of a better life. So this is the reason why we've organized this forum. This is the reason we've organized this, because we have invited people here to share ideas on what we can do for the African youth. As our concept note explained, this discussion suggests that how can we get governments, business, churches, mosques, community organizations, how do we get them involved in the development of the African youth? So that is a statement from MMG. I mean, this is what we're trying to do. The nitty-gritty of it is that we need to educate our children on a scientific, as Marcus Garvey says. I mean, the brother who gave, Brother Jerry Johnson, who gave the keynote speech, he very correctly observed that Marcus Garvey saw things 100 years ago that is just as relevant today. Yeah. He saw it coming. He knew it, that the people who will control the future of the world will be people who have mastered science and technology. Not the best dancers, not the best cricketers, not the best footballers. No. People who have mastered science and technology. People who can build bridges that don't collapse. People who can build roads that don't disappear in one rainy season. Okay, so this is what MMG will try to perpetuate, try to encourage, and all we're doing, as I said, we're not reinventing the wheel, we're just following the basic principles of Marcus Garvey, which is self-reliant. He always beseeches us to use the God-given ability that we have, just like anybody else has. Everyone has it. We are human beings. As Marcus Garvey says, what man has done, man can do. So if other people have been able to make progress, when I was at school, we used to collect things for China. China was a starving country when I was at school. We used to collect things to send to China. Whether they sent it or not, I don't know. But look at China now. Who's collecting things for China now? China's not complaining because the rice harvest failed or because too much rain or less rain. They've, in a generation, because it was within my lifetime, they've managed to pull themselves up. And if they can do it, so can we. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm glad you set the tone for the conversation. It's good we have a lot of educators here because I'm interested to hear their thoughts. One of them is Imole. So, based on what Neville has just spoken about and then based on your knowledge of what Garvey stands for in terms of empowering people to get things done, if you had the education minister sitting in front of us right now, what kind of advice would you be giving him as pertains to how we can industrialize, coming from the education angle that you are in? Well, you can respond to whatever question we have, and then you can add this as well. Yeah. Because in the end, we're talking about industrialization, but there has to be some kind of a, yeah. Just give the microphone. Yeah. Is it on? Is it on? It's not on. Give him the yellow one.
Can you go back to your initial question, please?
Well, we were talking about industrialization. Well, what the problem is, why have we not industrialized?
Okay. Yeah. And because of neocolonialism.
Okay.
Neocolonialism is why we haven't industrialized. And I recall Marcus Garvey saying that we need to take out the wishbone and put in backbone. And so I would reference that Ghana has a precedence for industrialization of the nation. And that is the 7-year development plan. There was a 7-year development plan from 1963 1963 to 1970 that was obstructed by neocolonialism. That plan came from the most democratic process that Ghana has ever existed in the country, with the only